Hi there, we noticed a problem with your artwork on your recent photo book order. Here's an example of the problem. In one or more of your pages, your artwork doesn't extend right to the edge where we need it to be, and you're likely to end up with a thin, wispy white line near the edge of your book instead of a lovely picture that runs neatly off the page. Here's another example of those thin, wispy lines. See, just in this picture here, it hasn't been brought all the way to the edge, and it's going to have a thin, wispy line. All the other pictures on the page won't. And here's another example. Now these pictures have borders on them, and let's press the play button to see how that looks. You see some of the edges are going to have their black border cut off because it hasn't been brought into the right area. So how do we fix this? The software offers some guidelines to help you. It says safe area and bleed, and past the bleed is a little bit of a gray zone. That gray zone is where we need you to drag your picture all the way to the end of that gray zone. So past the red bleed line into that gray area. That's going to give us enough extra of your picture to trim a little bit off of the guillotine so you don't end up with wispy lines. All you need to do is bring your picture all the way past into that grey area. These two areas already are. We can use this zoom button here to check, and you just toggle across to the edge, and I can see there's my bleed line, there's my grey zone. It's been brought all the way out, bleed line, and all the way out into the grey zone, so that one's fixed. To fix this page is a little bit different. The artwork has been brought a little past the bleed line already and into the grey zone, not all the way, but that's not really going to help my problem because say I drag all of these pictures into the grey bleed zone like it should be. Now let's use this handy preview button that allows us to review the page and see it really easily. See, you're still going to chop off the edges of the picture borders, which you don't want to do. So for this, I would use that green safe area guidelines that's been provided on the page to get an even white border around every single picture so that there's symmetry and evenness on your page and you still get those borders really nicely and they make your pictures pop, but you're not disadvantaged by the edges being cut off. So I brought them all into exactly sitting on that green safe area line, and let's press preview and see how it looks, and I think that looks really nice. One way to prevent this problem from happening altogether is to use our pre-designed page layouts. Just click here, they're divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 plus images per page. Choose your layout, and for example you might choose this 4-picture page, and you can choose one with even white border around the edges, or you can choose one that bleeds your image off the page. If you use our pre-designed pages, they are set up correctly and these issues won't happen. But if you do adjust the designs or make your own, follow this principle of dragging your picture well into the grey area outside the bleed line, or using the safe area guideline to get a nice even white border around your pictures. Now that you've fixed those pesky page issues, the last thing I ask you to do with this order and every order before you press the blue shopping cart is just click this preview button here and page through every page of your book carefully and look for those bleed edges, look for symmetry, evenness between lines, and just check that everything lines up nicely. And when it does and you're happy, then you can hit this order button. If you've watched this video because we sent you an email saying there was something wrong with your order, we just need you to do one more thing. Save and exit from where you are now, and you must let us know that you've fixed your files. What's handy is if you renamed your project, fixed, and perhaps the date that you fixed it on, and then reply to this email that you got or send us a new email to say, I've fixed my artwork. The new file name is called Fix 20th of the 2nd, 2026, and we will pick up your new files and get your book back into production. Thanks so much.